What if, and hear me out, every heartbeat you've ever felt wasn't biology, but a meeting reminder? What if your entire body was actually a chaotic, underfunded, overworked corporation, run by microscopic employees who are 2 mistakes away from unionizing? Because your body isn't a temple. It's not a machine. It's a workplace. A 24/7, no breaks, no vacation, no HR nightmare of a workplace. And every cell inside you is not doing its function. It's struggling to keep its job. Let's clock in. Welcome to Human Inc. Population, 37.2 trillion employees. Office hours, forever. Dress code, anything with a membrane. This is the only company in existence where the CEO is asleep half the time, panicking the other half, and stuffing random carbs into the building for morale. But the real story? It's the workers, the cells, the microscopic heroes who do everything and get 0 credit. Let's meet the team. The red blood cell, the overworked delivery driver. Red blood cell, RBC for short, starts their day the same way every day. A deep sigh, a quick protein shake, and a 120,000 kilometer commute. Not yearly, not monthly, daily. RBC is basically the Amazon Prime driver of your body. Except the route never ends, the warehouse is on fire, and every package is labeled urgent, oxygen, or you die. RBC doesn't even have a nucleus. The company took it away to increase efficiency. That's right. Your delivery drivers had their brain removed so they could carry more packages. No wonder they burn out in 4 months. RBC doesn't complain though. They don't have vocal cords. They just keep moving. The white blood cell, the security team that takes its job too seriously. Now let's talk about white blood cells, WBCs. These guys are the security patrol of the building, and they treat every minor issue like an international hostage crisis. You ever get a splinter? One small wooden pixel enters the lobby, and suddenly every WBC is screaming, "Breach! Breach! Unknown intruder in sector 34! Send the macrophages! Lock down the liver!" WBCs don't walk. They slide, crawl, launch, and sometimes straight up eat the suspect. They're the only employees legally allowed to commit cannibalism on company time. And when bacteria shows up, oh boy, that's WBC's Super Bowl. They don't fight it, they obliterate it. They chase that germ down like a cop in an action movie who finally found the guy who keyed his car 10 years ago. WBCs are unhinged. They're stressed. They're paranoid. And honestly, they're the only reason you're alive. The fat cell, the misunderstood storage manager. Fat cells, adipocytes, are the storage department, but everyone blames them for everything. Gain weight? Their fault. Lose weight? Still their fault. Feel tired? Somehow their fault. But these guys are just doing their job, holding the stuff you told them to hold. You ate pizza. They store it. You drank bubble tea? They store it. You had just one more snack at 2 a.m.? Yeah, guess what? They store it. They're basically the warehouse workers who begged you to stop ordering things, and you said no. And when times are tough, when famine hits, when food is scarce, fat cells are the ones who pay their lives, so you survive. They shrink down, sacrifice everything, and you still talk trash about them. They deserve a raise, or at least an apology letter. The neuron, the executive, who doesn't know how to relax neurons, are the upper management. They sit in fancy offices in the head department and constantly send emails. Sorry, electrical impulses to everyone else. They're smart, brilliant, essential, and absolutely incapable of chilling out. Neurons will wake you up at 3:47 a.m. because they remembered something embarrassing you did in middle school. Neurons hold meetings about everything. Walking? Meeting. Breathing? Meeting. Feeling sad because a dog didn't wave back at you. Huge meeting. These guys fire so many signals per second that if each one was a Slack message, every employee in Human NC would have quit instantly. Neurons never sleep. Even when you sleep, they're running background processes like some overbearing boss who whispers, "Let's work on anxiety for no reason." The stem cell, the genius intern who can do any job. Stem cells are the golden child of the company, the prodigy intern who HR worships. They can become anything: engineer, chef, security guard, oxygen delivery driver. You name it. They're the shape-shifting Swiss Army knives of biology. They walk into the office like, "What role do you need today? Heart tissue? Skin patch? Random backup cell? I can fill in." They're so good at their job that every department wants them. And none of them want to train new hires because just get a stem cell, they know everything. The muscle cells, the factory workers who only understand one thing: force. Muscle cells are simple men. They like one thing: contracting. You tell them, "Lift this," and they lift. You tell them, "Run," and they run. You tell them, "Hold a plank," and they scream. "Burrow, why would you do this to us?" These guys live in factories called fibers. They're strong, loyal, hardworking, and dramatic. Seriously, you skip the gym for 2 weeks and they immediately file for termination. They shrink faster than a part-time worker who heard the boss is coming. The skin cells, the underpaid front desk receptionists. Skin cells are the first line of defense, the receptionists of the company, and they deal with everything UV radiation, annoying bacteria, hot water, door handles touched by 300 strangers. All of that goes through them. And they get replaced every month, every single month. Imagine working the front desk, getting yelled at by the sun, slapped by the wind, scratched, burned, dried out, soaked, and then being told, "Thanks, but we're hiring someone new. They deserve therapy more than anyone." Now, if you think Human Inc. is already chaotic, wait until you meet the rest of the staff. Because the deeper you go into this company, the more you realize every cell thinks they are the main character. And honestly, they might be right. The liver cells, the exhausted janitors who clean up everyone's mess. You ever wonder why the liver is so big? Because it's basically the janitor closet of the human body and everyone keeps dumping their trash, their alcohol. The liver cleans it. Sugar overload? The liver fixes it. Weird experimental energy drink with 9,000 milligrams of caffeine and a dragon on the can? Oh yeah, that's the liver's problem too. Liver cells have no days off, no breaks, no holidays. They are the only employees who clean up spills before anyone else even notices. They're the ones whispering, "Please stop drinking, please. We can't keep doing this." But do you listen? No. You order another round. And the liver just sighs and prints more detox enzymes like a janitor quietly crying in a storage room at 3 a.m. The gut cells, the customer service department from hell. The digestive system is customer service. It handles everything you put in your mouth. And let's be honest, you've put some horrifying things in there. Gut cells have seen it all. Suspicious gas station sushi, half-cooked chicken. Expired yogurt, you said, smelled fine. Instant noodles you ate for the 7th time this week. And that one, flaming hot pepper you ate for fun. They're traumatized. They're tired. They're overworked. And when they finally snap, that's a stomachache. That's not biology. That's your gut cells throwing a full-blown riot in the cafeteria. The heart cells, the drummers who never stop playing. Heart cells are the band members in the basement who play the same beat every second of every day. Boom, 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 boom. They've been doing this since before you were born. Literally day one. Never missed a beat. They're the most reliable employees in Human Inc. Until you run up a flight of stairs and suddenly they're screaming, "Why are we sprinting? Who approved this?" Heart cells are loyal, passionate, and slightly dramatic. If they stop working for even 3 seconds, everyone panics. Everyone sends emails. Everyone starts yelling. The heart is the only department where failure triggers a full company meltdown. The hormones, the unstable messengers who cause 90% of the drama hormones, aren't cells, but they run around the office delivering messages like over-caffeinated interns who misunderstood the assignment. 1 minute you're calm. Next minute you want to cry because you saw a dog wearing shoes. Then suddenly you're hungry, angry, sleepy, motivated, depressed, excited, jealous, or all of them at the same time. That's hormones. They don't communicate clearly, they don't schedule, they don't double-check their work. They just burst into rooms yelling, "Change everything, right now!" Adrenaline puts the whole company into run-for-your-life mode because you saw a small spider. Serotonin sends a happy memo. Dopamine gives you good job stickers. Cortisol floods the system like a fire alarm that won't turn off. Hormones are unpredictable, unstable, dangerous, and totally necessary. The kidney cells, the office filters. Kidneys are the HR filters of human insi. They scan everything. They check everything. They filter wastes, toxins, and bad ideas. Kidney cells are precise, calm, organized, the accountants of the body. But once a kidney stone forms, that's a worker uprising. That's a rebellion. That's every disgruntled cell in the office rolling down the hallway screaming, "We're quitting!" And trust me, when kidney cells go on strike, the entire company feels it. The immune system's overzealous intern, the histamine team. You ever have allergies? That's the histamine team messing up. Again, a little pollen floats by. A harmless cat walks into the room. You eat one tiny peanut, maybe, and suddenly the histamine interns slam the big red button. Code red! Alert! Destroy everything! Your nose runs, your eyes itch, your throat swells. Why? Because a rookie intern thought dust was a terrorist. Histamine means well. But they're basically the employees who yell, "Fire," every time they smell toast. The bone cells, the architects who never agree on anything. Bones aren't just bones. They're construction sites. Osteoblasts build stuff. Osteoclasts tear it down. Osteocytes supervise and complain. They argue constantly. One builds a wall. One tears it down. One takes notes on both mistakes. It's like a renovation project that never ends. The reproductive cell's the drama department. These cells have one job: create the next CEO of Human Inc. And they treat it like the Hunger Games egg cells. One of us will be chosen. Sperm cells, charge! They're dramatic. They're competitive. And when they succeed, they create a whole new corporation from scratch. The truth about human insi. Here's the wild part. Out of all these employees, the fighters, the builders, the cleaners, the thinkers, not a single one works for money. Not one of them cares about fame, politics, or status. They don't even know what you are. They only know one thing: keep the company alive. That's it. That's their only mission. Every heartbeat, every breath, every blink, it's all for survival. But sometimes they get tired. Sometimes they break. Sometimes they fail. Not because they're weak, but because Human Inc. is the most complicated company in the universe, and it never shuts down. And here's the twist. You are not the CEO. You are not the manager. You're not even the owner. You're the building. And these cells, these tiny, loyal, overworked, underpaid workers, run everything. You don't control them. They control you. Your cravings? Them. Your emotions? Them. Your memories? Them. Your entire existence? A collective effort by trillions of invisible employees fighting every second to keep the lights on. So the next time you say, "I'm tired," just remember, there are trillions of cells inside you whispering, "Same, bro, same." But they keep working anyway because that's their job. And it's the greatest miracle of biology.